Hey everyone, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today, me and the lovely Lou Collins have got together again to do a collaboration. The last one we did was so popular. You lot loved it and you loved the product that we've used. So if you're new to my channel, new to Lou's channel, you've not seen these before, check out the tutorial there and that will also lead you to Lou's video and you can see how we mix some of our products. So I've used my Magic Colour Slide 6x6 die set here with Lou's lovely steampunk type, and it's the vintage typewriter die set with this beautiful stamp set. This one was from the Mariposa collection, but the words go perfectly with the typewriter and you'll see me use that and explain that more in the video. So you can see all this wonderful detail here, and I've used my Love is in the Air stamp set with and these florals and the heart there. And then when you pull the tab, the typewriter says take life one chapter at a time, and then inside I've used the sentiment create your own beautiful ending and some more of the flowers there. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I've loved making this one, and I do enjoy me and Lou doing these collabs because it does really make you think outside of the box and just create in a slightly different way. It's lovely. So really fun card style to make. So if you've got this die set and you wanted some more inspiration, then hopefully this is going to give you some, and vice versa. If you've got Lou's typewriter and you want to use it in a different way, then hopefully you'll like the card that I've made today. Also, because we're doing this collaboration today, we've got a fantastic discount code for you, which will be coming up now on the screen. So you'll get 20% off our co-brand product, which is such a good discount. It does exclude machines, clearance and gift cards, but any other own brand and co-brand product you can use that discount code on. All of that again will be linked in the description box below. But let's get started and I'll show you how to make this beautiful card. Okay, so first of all, I just need to add some detail to the die cuts. So I've cut the typewriter. So this is, you get 7 pieces in this set here, the steampunk type die set. But all the buttons here are all raised and they're going to take inks really well. And then I'm going to stencil, because anything you see like this on your dies is a stencil die as well. So we're going to stencil in that detail in a moment. So first of all, I'm going to use the peacock feathers because I think this is going to be, I think, dark enough. Let me just double check. I'm thinking possibly Mermaid Lagoon may be better for this actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go for Mermaid Lagoon instead because it is darker. So I'm just going to load up my brayer here and then just roll this over the die. Okay, so I can see that it's on those raised edges, and then very carefully I want to pop this back in the die. So I'm just going to angle it, clip it into the bottom there like so, and then just roll that down. And I'm going to run that through my die machine again. And then to clean your die, you just run it under the tap, just warm water, and that will rub right off. And now, how cool is that? So I think I might go a little bit darker again. So I'm just going to just go over that again. Now I'm going to use a little sponge. I find these best for using on your stencils. You can use the brushes, but sometimes the bristles may get underneath and then you could end up with a bit of a blurred, not very crisp finish. So again, I'm just going to now pop this back in, and I want to go over all of this that you see. So all of this down here, all this detail here. So I'm just going to load up the sponge there, and I'm just going to apply it over all of these areas. I'm kind of dabbing the ink in between all those small areas, so the sponge is kind of squeezing into all those little detailed parts. You could also use your Versamark with this, and then you could use your embossing powders. So you've got an embossed effect. There we go. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go over it again because I think I can definitely get some more colour onto those. But you can start to see just how much detail is in that die. So that's had a little bit of time to dry. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of the Uncharted Mariner. I think these colours are going to work because it's a greeny blue. And then whilst that one's drying, I've just cut the frame from the Magic Colour Slide, and I'll be showing you everything else in a moment. But again, this has got all this stencil detail. So I'm just going to pop that back inside the die. And then I'm going to use Festive Berries for this one. Okay, and pop that out, and now you can see you got that cool detail on the frame. Okay, so back to the typewriter again before we start building the card. I cut it in a load of different colours. I was actually thinking about using it slightly differently before. So I had all these cut, and what I've done is I've just snipped bits of them away. I've got them all here, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of paper piece elements back over the top of this one. So for example, the holographic card here looks quite good for like the faux kind of hardware. And I mean, you could get your cutting knife out and cut these little bits out here and along there as well. But I think by the time I add all the flowers and all the other decoration I've got, I think that's probably going to be enough. But you know, you could go multicolored with this, have a rainbow typewriter, and then you could also just snip away. I'm just thinking this color would work nice. I'm just going to line up the feet. Just bring this in a bit more. I'm just lining up the bottom there of it. And then this could sit behind, but just slightly off, you know, come like offset, so it's just showing. There we go. So again, it really does make this more of a 3D typewriter. So I'm going to pop them up on foam, and I'm going to pop this strip here on some foam. I'm going to pop a bit of foam behind this one, and then I'm just going to stick the others down. So I've stuck everything down, but I've also added some accent glaze on all the keys and on these 3 lighter areas as well. So I'm going to leave that now all to dry. Okay, so now we can start putting the card together. So I've cut the main die here in the Centura Pearl. This is gorgeous, this card. So I just ran that one through. It'll go through a standard machine. And then you also want to cut the pull one as well. Now this one I've embossed. I've not done this before, but I've embossed this piece. You have got the stitch detail, you've also got the pull. If you add a little shim on top of that, it will really show up more on mirrored card. But we've given you the arrow option as well, which is what I'm going to use today, and that will just cover the pull, so you can use either or. So fold that one in half, and this is going to sit in between and just pop out the top, and we'll line all that up better in a moment, like so. So I'm going to stick my arrow down now so I don't lose it, because this one always disappears. So that's going to stick on there, and then I'm just going to stick my frame around here. Now you don't need to add the acetate on this one for the way I'm using it, but there's something about acetate on a card, so I am still going to add it. Plus I can stick some of the design onto the acetate as well. So I've just got a light piece there, and then if you use this die here, that will cut your acetate for you. Okay, so I've just added a thin strip of red tape around all 4 sides. Okay, take that out, and then you're going to stick this behind your frame. So just come down under that finger pull area, because you don't want your acetate to be seen. Just drop that down and just give it a good burnish to make sure that's secure. Okay, so what I want to do now this is still drying slightly, but this is going to sit over the top here. And I'm going to use the sentiments from this set here. It works perfectly, although they're 2 different collections, Lou said, they work perfectly because you've got things like take life 1 chapter at a time. This is your story. Create your own beautiful ending. They all work really well with the typewriter. So I'm going to have take life 1 chapter at a time. So I think this would be a nice card then for someone who's maybe going through a bit of a difficult time. So what I've done is I've actually cut these down. So I want to have take life 1 chapter at a time. And it's going to go in this space here. Now thinking about it, probably would have been easier if I'd done this step and then add the acetate, because I just need to kind of give myself a bit of a marker. So what I'm going to do is just measure down from the frame there. So I know, so 1 1/4 is the space that I've got to be able to stamp that, which is going to be more than enough. So I'm just going to open this up with this die. You won't have to do this. I would stick the acetate down after this. What you can do is just mark a pencil mark right through, you know, above the typewriter, and it'll go onto this piece. But I'm just going to use this die and pop it in the middle here. And then I knew it was 1 1/4, which is just about there. And pop this all on my stamping platform actually. Keep that all in place. So yeah, lay that one down. And then roughly 1 1/4, which is about there. And then I'm just going to place these down, just roughly in place for the minute, and get rid of all of this. Okay, so now I can just spend a bit more time getting those nice and straight. Yeah, that's going to fit just right, but I think I need to go slightly over more, just a little bit possibly to the right. So I'm just going to shift it over just a little bit to the right. I think it just needed just a smidge. There we go, that's stamped perfectly as well, just like a typewriter. Okay, so now I would say add your acetate, but I've already done that. So I'm just going to give this a quick clean. I just used some rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to spray a little bit there. So that's nice and clean. So now I'm going to place this over the top, and you want it to sit just nicely in this part here. And then you're going to take this one here. So I've just die cut this one twice using my white card, and I've stuck them on top of each other. So I've just got these slightly thicker pieces here. So you're going to have one either side. So just flip one over, because they're like that. Just flip one over, one either side here, and then this one is going to run right along the bottom here. So I'm going to stick that one down first. So just add my glue. So like I said, just make sure that runs nice and flush, and you want this to butt right up to the bottom, and that will stop that piece falling out the bottom of the card. So, you know, when that slides up and down, it's going to now hit against the bottom of that one. Now, you'll see at the bottom of this piece, it's slightly longer, just on the ends there. Those pieces will stop against this part here. So you want to stick this one down so that this is touching the side of this piece. Can you see now there's a track here, and that's for this piece to run up and down. So again, this one here, because you want it to stop. So if I just fold that over, this is going to come up just behind there, so it's going to be about there. So as long as you keep this flush with this piece, then it will stop in the right place. So you're going to take this one, again add the glue. So I'm going to keep this one flush with the bottom here, and just let that lay down. And you want this to run parallel with the side of the card. Just move that, I don't want it going underneath there. There we go, like so. And do the same with this side. Just move that up there, there we go. So it's easier for me to stick it down. And then just check, just bring it right up to the top and make sure it stops. Can you see it's hitting against those pieces? And when that's down, it's hidden behind this like section there, and you can see the sentiment. So now you can add tape on here or your glue. I'm going to use my glue, but just make sure it's a very thin amount. You don't want it, you know, when it kind of spreads out, you don't want it coming out onto the acetate. So just all along there, all along the bottom. Make sure there's nothing in this space. If there's any like little bits of, you know, cardstock, any marks, get rid of them all now. And then just drop that down so it can now stick on the top. And you should find this now will slide much easier, like so. So this is why I wanted to add the acetate to this, because I can now add some foam to the back of this and stick that directly on top. Whereas if I hadn't have added the acetate, I would have only have been able to attach this part and like the sides just to the frame. But that way it's just going to keep the card nice and strong. Okay, so that's all stuck down. And then using the stamps from this set here, I've stamped the largest one, 3 of the corner ones, and 3 of the hearts. Now, I'm not going to use them all on the front of the card, but I am going to add some probably inside as well. And I thought I would have, initially I thought I'd have that one running along the top, but then you're not going to have, you know, that much space for your sentiment. But you can see how that works. I just think it's, yeah, it's really sweet. So I think I'm going to have one there, one down here, and then I thought it would be nice to have the hearts, maybe one up there, one down here, and another one maybe there. That looks nice. And then, like I said, I didn't think I was going to need all these. I'll have that one inside the card. And then in, again, that sentiment set, you've got the love here, because when the card's closed, there's not going to be any sentiment. I do like a little bit of wording on the front of a card. So I thought I'd have the love. I just move that up a little bit. Maybe like so. Just popped up there, so that then when it's closed, that's how it's going to look. And you just got that little sentiment there. I think that looks so pretty. So I'm going to stick all this down. I'm going to stick it onto a 6x6 card blank. So I've used the Centura Pearl again to make my card blank, so everything matches, and I've done the white on white. I think that looks quite nice with the foam that I've added behind this main piece. And then I've lifted all of those pieces up. I've added accent glaze, like I said, to everything. I just love the stuff. And then when you pull your tab there, it will reveal, take life one chapter at a time. And then I thought it would be really nice to finish with this one inside, so create your own beautiful ending. And then I've added the rest of those die cuts so they didn't get wasted. So it can be displayed, oh, I just need to burnish that, but it can be displayed open. Obviously, if you don't like top fold cards, then have it as a side fold. It will still work fine. But this could also be a smaller card, so you could just stick it onto, I think this is about 5x5, the square here. So you don't have to have it on that bigger size. I think it's beautiful. I've loved making this one, and I enjoy the collabs that me and Lou do. It's nice to see how our products can work with, you know, each other's. So I hope you've enjoyed this card idea from me today, using my Magic Colour Slide die set with Lou's typewriter there and the sentiments. It's just beautiful. As always, all the product will be linked in the description box below, along with the code. I'll have that popping up again now, and it will also be linked below, but you haven't got long to use that, so you have to be quick before that one expires. The exact products that I've used will also be linked below, so you can find all of that there. I'll have some other Magic Colour Slide tutorials coming up now as well. You might want to watch those next. And as always, thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today, and I'll be back again very soon. Take care. Bye.